Welcome back from that. Thank you so much, Uluma Bethel, for giving us those very important career tips. It's always wonderful to get to hear what you need in the job market. I hope I don't get to that job market. In Nigeria, it's so saturated. The job market is so saturated, and I'm happy it's becoming very competitive as well with technology. And
with the advent of AI.
Advent of AI, that is another conversation altogether. But we had discussed here yesterday that yesterday, the 24th of April, was the International Day of Multilateralism and Diplomacy for Peace. And we know how we need peace and unity in our country. With the pockets of violence we record recently in several parts of the country, I'm not saying it's particularly bleak, but we have to do something to ensure that we do not record this communal crisis, header, farmer crisis, and all the breach of peace that we have been recording lately. And this conversation is so important, and we have to bring it back and discuss extensively about it. Well, talking about multilateralism, diplomacy, and peace, we have a guest right here in the studio who will do justice to how Nigeria can achieve peace, and not just in Nigeria, but globally. How can we use multilateralism, diplomacy especially, to achieve peace? And my guest in the studio is Ambassador Dixon Omoregie. He's the Country Director, Institute for Cultural Diplomacy, ICD. Thank you so much for being part of the program.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Welcome back to Nigeria. I told you I will not call chocolate. I will not ask for chocolate, so I'm trying not to.
Yes.
This is me not asking for chocolate. But welcome back to Nigeria. It's good to know that you're here when we need you most to discuss how we can use diplomacy, multilateralism, and achieve peace. So when you come and see where we are recording crises in Benue State, Plateau State, and Kwara State, recently a community was raised and 10 people killed, and it's becoming a norm. How does it first of all make you feel?
Oh, thank you very much once again. It makes me feel too bad because Nigeria has gone to a stage whereby if you hear that some people died, you will say how many? You say 10. Just 10. If you hear that 20 people died, oh, say how many people died? I say 20. Oh, just 20. Even if it is 50, you say just 50.
Because we have started recording even more.
More. So you see, what is so painful in it is what is the response or the concerns of the stakeholders of this country. I don't actually like delving into political activities. You see, when people dies in this country, nobody talk about it. But what they are talking about is 2027 election, 2027 alignment, forgetting that you are expected to lead the people, and the people that you are leading are the people today that are dying. Are you going to lead goats and camels? No, which is not so. So it's so sad that there are some countries today, even when a citizen dies, the government, the highest level of government, shows concern. Even if that citizen dies in another country, not even their own country, even if that citizen dies in another country, they show concern and say, wow. But it's just too unfortunate that today there is still no remedy in sight. You can't sit down at home and say, well, the dying has been so rampant, but I'm sure that by the end of this month, the dying will reduce. Nothing happens. Several committees have been set, and there's no outcome. Nobody's ever brought to book. It's so amazing that no result in sight. It makes one to feel, to bleed in heart. I think, let me stop so far. Roughly. So it's not a good experience.
Sir,
yes.
What role do you think that cultural diplomacy play in fostering international relations?
Yeah, actually, the solution is cultural diplomacy. Because when such incident happens, there are 2-3 parties that are involved. One, the people who came to to kill and maim. The second is the community in which they came to attack. And also, if you look at it, they also belong to religion. So cultural diplomacy is simply an opportunity that creates dialogue. What is really causing this your action, or this your act of killing people endlessly? So in cultural diplomacy role is to bring them all together. Let us sit down the round table, because these people today, they belong to religion. So let there be multi-religion discussion. We bring various religions, let them discuss. Then let the various heads of communities be part of it. You see, in my place, we say that there are some evil that takes place. The head of the community will not say he's not aware. He will not say he's not aware. All these people, they have heads. Religiously, politically, communally. I'm a community leader also. So I know what it means. So when the community leaders are involved in this process of cultural discussion, cultural diplomacy discussion, I tell you, this killing will reduce. Some time ago, I have given solution to this. And the solution is not difficult. All you need to do is to map the entire country. For instance, let us take take Abuja here, which is in our immediate environment. We have Wuse 2, we have Wuse, we have Gariki, we have Metama. Let us engage young people who will guide them, who will protect it, and hold them responsible if anything happens. So everybody has to man their area with their covering. Okay, in the process of trying to curb this, we also create employment. For instance, today we have honorable members, we have senators. What do? Let them go and man their areas. Let them create employment. There is no village, there is no hamlet today that doesn't have a leader.
Yes.
Therefore, tell the leader of that community, even the community is 100. First of all, let them take census of people who are there. Those who are in the bush and those who are to let them take census. So if any foreigner comes in, they will know. Employ them. Maybe 2-3 persons. If you employ 2-3 persons, that person will no longer have that mind to create havoc. That's one. Then the person will now become credit worthy. These are what cultural diplomacy does. If you engage somebody today, the person now becomes expectant, maybe weekly or monthly, because even if somebody is receiving 20,000 a month, I know it's small, the person becomes credit worthy.
Yes.
So if you ask him to go and carry gun,
he will use it to plan.
Yes. If you ask him to go and carry gun, he said no, he won't do that. So if today we decide to say, okay, these various communities, when you are talking of what do you call it, constituency development. What is constituency development? What are you developing in constituency when the people are not secured? Take part of it, employ the communities. If a community of 500 has just 10 people that is managing them, you won't hear any of this crisis. At the end of the month, they are paid. So when you're talking of payment here, you're talking of constituency development financing. That is one. Even you can narrow it down to local government, where you have councillors and local government chairmen. They can take a, if I'm a local government chairman, I'm able to engage people that man my local government. You're a local government chairman. She's a local government chairwoman. I protect you protect yours. That is internal multilateralism. Because I take care of my own, we don't have common boundaries. So nobody can cross my territory to come and leech mayhem in your place. So I'm sorry, I have to say this. The institutions that are leading us knows what is happening, and it cannot end.
Okay, so a lot of times when we talk about peace, some of the issues and that would ensure peace is reconciliation, ensuring the issues are even addressed. Would you say, looking at us, we have been intentional about achieving this reconciliation, I come from a Cross River State, Abi local government, where there was such a time, my mother's village and my father's village were fighting. And I was caught in the middle, and I could see firsthand how my parents struggled. They have children that come from both places. I had cousins who were in the war zone killing cousins they grew up with. But it came to a point where they had to sit down and have conversations and say, what is really the problem? And it was tough because people had died, a lot of people had died, but that reconciliation necessary was sort of imposed. I, for one, from where I'm sitting, do not think it's a healthy one to impose reconciliation. You know what? You must hug your brother and that is it, and forget about it and all that. But what would you suggest is the way forward? Is it this kind of reconciliation? Should government come impose it and all of that?
You see, the type of reconciliation that we have been having is not sustainable.
It's the one that I mentioned.
Well, it's imposed peace.
Imposed peace, right?
Yes, you don't do that. Go to the nitty-gritty. What is really causing it? If you look at fighting between one community and the others, it is the people that are suffering it. The people are aggrieved. So whenever the government is going to say, let there be peace, they will bring the high power personalities who are operating from maybe from Abuja, from Port Harcourt or other place, to come and discuss peace, which is local. It's not done. It's not so. That is one. Two, you see, there can't be peace when you are being cheated. Most of the things that cause peace is my community trying to encroach into your community and steal some of your resources, whether it is mineral resources or one thing or the other. And because I have some influence, I have power, maybe with the military, or I have some forces, I can always come to your environment and steal those things that are supposed to be for you. You can't, even if you cannot fight me. You see, I told some people something that if you keep quiet, does not mean that you're happy.
The lack of war is not particularly presence of peace.
It's not presence of peace. If we are supposed to argue over something, we are supposed to struggle something, and you overpower me, I have noticed I couldn't do anything, does not mean that
no, keep quiet. And you don't know what I'm thinking in my mind.
And also, one of the reasons that is causing this mayhem, is when there is no peaceful solution, and you cannot go to court and seek redress, you have no resources to call for bigger people to come to your aid. What do? You want to vent your muzzle, your power with your minor weapon that you're having to end peace, to seek revenge. These are some of those things. So, if we actually need peace, the people involved in all circumstances should be those people that should be made to come and dialogue. But unfortunately, when such peace moves are made, they are not available. They will never have access. The big guys come in. People that will come in, and most times the government will even pay them for coming to discuss peace, whereas they have no effect. The violence that erupts does not affect those people who are away. The real people who are in the environment, the real people who are in the community are these people that are supposed to discuss peace.
Absolutely.
That's a kind of, you are not living in my community. You don't even know the genesis of our problem, and you come to settle it. How can you settle what you do not know about? So, based on that, I want to ask, how can we use cultural diplomacy to promote economic growth, and development in terms of tourism and the rest?
Yeah, it's simple. That's actually the base of cultural diplomacy. What is cultural diplomacy? It is relations between two or more persons. That's cultural diplomacy. Relations between two or more persons, between two or more communities, two or more states, two or more nations, two or more continents, for the purpose of doing business. When you are in relationship with your neighboring state or neighboring country, then what are you going to do? You begin to discuss economic growth, how to do business. And when you are discussing business, for instance, country A and country B, a country A are into technology, country B are into agriculture. You bring them together and learn more from yourselves. In the process of that, let me tell you some of the benefits. Because of that interaction, men and women begin to discuss, marriage comes in. And if there are good relationship between one community and the other, there can be war. Because if war is going to arrive, we say, no, that community is our in-law community.
Right. But there was war in my case. There was war. In my own case, there was war.
Okay. It was not attended to early.
Right.
So that is it. And you see, when cultural diplomacy is at work in communities, there will be trust. When there is trust, there could also be credit facility. A particular community or state can give their product out. I say, please, at the appropriate time, it could be 1 week, it could be 1 month, come and pay, come and do the payment. It fosters serious relationship between two communities or more. So there will be economy. Economy will be growing, relationship will be growing, socially too. There will be growth in social activities. So cultural diplomacy is that relationship that will bring two people together or two communities together for them to begin to like themselves, for them to begin to do business among themselves, for them to begin to trust themselves. Where there is trust, every other thing is secondary. So everything goes in smoothly.
Where there is trust. I like that. So let's get back to what you do at the Institute of Cultural Diplomacy. What is it about?
Yes. Actually, brought this Institute of Cultural Diplomacy from Germany because the headquarters is in Germany, Berlin. And every year we have meetings 7 times in Berlin. It was then, and I said, wow, I like what is happening. Cultural diplomacy is bridging bridges between trauma persons or trauma communities. And I said, please, Nigeria need bridge. Then I work in the presidency. Then I said, okay, Dixon, how do we do it? I said, yes, I'm going to write you from the office of the president, and I tell you they were not interested. Then I said, well, let us set up a Nigeria office.
Right.
Let us set up a Nigeria office that through Nigeria office, we can also oversee some other countries that are neighboring to Nigeria. Yes. So what we do basically is to identify people who are not developed and developing them. It goes back to what I said earlier. There are 2 types of development: education development and general development. Education development is quite expensive. Before you develop somebody educationally to become productive, the person has to attend university.
Right.
It takes so many years. But the other development is you can develop somebody for 3 months. You can develop somebody for 6 months. The person will not become an authority for himself. He cannot begin to help himself, help his family, build a family, help his environment, as well as the neighbors. So what we do is we look at people, we engage them, we discuss with them, and look at the area of their strength. You see, there are so many people today, they will tell you that they can do something, but they don't know what they can do. So it is through interaction, through engagement, you can know, oh, this one will be good in computer science, this one will be good in soap making, this one will be good in fashion and design, this one will be good in mechanic and all others. So first of all is that engagement. That's what we do. We engage them, and when you engage them, you are liberating them. Because when you liberate them, when you get them engaged, they now become hopeful. If you give them bomb to go and detonate in wholesale market, they will not be interested. Because they know that the small pay they are getting today, with that small pay, they are happy, they are hopeful that they can get a bigger pay. And as I told you, anybody who is working, no matter how meager the money is, the person is hopeful and can become credit worthy. He can go to the nearest shop and say, madam, give me this, by month end, I will pay you. Right. So when you get those things, it's time for you to begin to think on how you can improve yourself, how you can engage yourself, so that before the month ends, who knows, you can also get some favor. So that is what we do in cultural diplomacy here down in Nigeria. Also, we also facilitate meetings meetings between our stakeholders here and also meet with international partners. We have meetings twice in Germany where you have donor organizations from Asia. They come in, you can go and discuss with them. I've invited some legislators there to go there. Go and tell them what your state produces.
Exactly.
When you tell them what your state producing, you discover that they can be interested. And when they're interested, your people will be engaged. Most people today who are representing us, they don't even know what they have within their constituency.
Their constituency.
They don't, but they just want that name and they just go and begin to fly with the name. They will remain in Abuja. You are supposed to represent your constituency in Abuja here, empowering them over there, so that you go and market those items or materials which are in your constituency, which are in your state. Sell it to international communities. And of course, with your position, either as a minister or as a senator or the House of Rep member, you can also guarantee some degree of security when those guys come in. So these are what we do.
I would like to mention the cultural components to what you do, which is, you know, sometimes when we look at our beautiful country, we have diverse cultures, and we've read about researches that says we're losing these cultures to adopting foreign cultures instead. How important is it to hold on to the cultures and traditions that we have in our country and sell it globally instead of adopting the global cultures?
Yeah, you see, we do this whether it is advertisement, how to call it, we showcase our identity. The way it is done is for us to showcase our identity, which we do regularly. We exhibit our culture, our food. These are the things we do. And even in my home, I tell my children how to greet. We have a special way of greeting. You have to greet, not good morning or good morning. Today, I've taken it as point of duty. Anybody who I see so young or junior that say good morning, good morning. Good morning is not greeting. You look at an adult, you say good morning. Because you should say good morning, sir. It will show some respect. You see children today, children of 10 years, 20 years, they greet adults of 50, 60, 70 years, say good morning, as if they are colleagues, as if they are classmates. So our culture is actually eroding. And one of the things that is making our culture to be eroding is that we don't value our culture. We are thinking that those white culture are the best.
Better.
I will share this. Recently, in my environment, a small boy just came to me. I think he should be about 15 years. He said, "Hi, Dixon, how far?" I just look at him. It's not that I was in an environment you don't, even to be in Nigeria, I will give him a dirty slap. Small boy 15 years, I say, "Hi, Dixon, how are you?" When I'm even older than your father. So, in an environment here, we think that is good. And that is why today, you see we in our environment, instead of us to be speaking our dialect, what do we do? We speak in English. And when you go and see your fellow native man in the office, if you speak your language, he'll be speaking English for you, which is so bad. I'm a Benin man, called Benin man. Each time I see anybody that speaks Benin, in this Abuja, wherever I go, I say, "Come, I have a gift for you." I give that person a gift. It's very small. It will be recharged for speaking that language. Please continue to speak it.
It excites you.
It excites me. Some have paid transport for some. It's good, I like it. But we are thinking that if you speak your native language publicly, they say this man is a military.
Cultural imperialism.
If you go to United Nations, you see a PhD in China, a Chinese man.
In Mandarin.
Yes.
Yeah.
He will be speaking their language with an interpreter.
Exactly.
He hears your English.
He understands it and he speaks it too.
But he will choose to speak their language. And the United Nations will be paying for interpreter. But we wouldn't do it here. Because we feel that if we go and expose ourselves, we say, this man is illiterate, Nigeria is illiterate. No. We need to do that. We should not be ashamed of our culture. We should showcase our culture. We should showcase our food, also our dress. Right, so this is how I dress. When I dress like this, I become distant in the midst of others.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So we're really running out of time.
Okay,
So
I wanted to ask. Advocacy is part of your duty,
Yes.
and in your advocacy, have you ever thought about inculcating cultural diplomacy in our school curriculum, exchange of culture, so as when you catch them young, I think they can grow with it and it becomes impactful.
Yes, if I say this, to seem as if I'm reporting somebody.
please report all the way. Please report all the way.
We actually wrote a proposal to the FCT education, what do you call it? We now to them, look, we want to ensure that we want to start practicing cultural diplomacy in your school. Free, don't give us any money. We want to do it. We had a meeting with the director, FCT something, and it was very, very rich. They said, we're going to, I said, but we need a letter from you so that when we are going to start it, they will not think that we are coming to kidnap people in your school. So till today, we are still waiting. They said the education secretary, he traveled, he came back, he has not given approval. So these are some of our challenges. Because if cultural diplomacy is practice, our culture is practice in our schools, right from primary school to secondary school, I tell you, we will love ourselves more.
Yeah.
You see, today now, most parents will tell, for example, an Hausa man can say, hey, don't go close to that Igbo friend, it's your enemy.
Yeah.
You see a Yoruba man say, hey, don't go to that Hausa man, he's your enemy. No, but when this cultural practice is going on in the school, the pupils, they will love themselves, the students, they will love themselves, they will not have this hatred. So in the course of advocacy, we are pushing it, and we pray that government should support, and as government support, it will go far, it will go like wildfire, it will go wider.
Thank you so much for being part of the program. It's wonderful to discuss these tips that will get us better in our country and enhance peace. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much.
We have been discussing with Ambassador Dixon Omoregie, Country Director, Institute for Cultural Diplomacy, ICD, discussing cultural diplomacy, peace, and multilateralism. But it's time to join the Agriculture for Today and Tomorrow segment, where we get to learn about smart farming, learn about how you too can contribute to food security in our beautiful, arable land nation. We'll be back after that.